Hey, TK, what's happening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So glad that you're here. What's happening? Tell me all the things that's happening in your world.
I just wrapped up my album, so we had a listening party, and I'm just about to go on tour.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I've just been vibing, playing Nintendo Switch for the last few weeks, which has been nice.
Is that what you do to decompress?
Yeah, but it stresses me out sometimes because I don't think it's too stimulating at the same time.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I feel the same way because sometimes I have Grand Theft Auto on my phone. And
I used to have that too.
Do you really?
Yeah, I had it. It was
So before I go to bed, I will play Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And what's funny is how I will be dead tired, but then I will wake. I feel like it kind of disrupts my sleep.
No, it definitely does.
Because I'm like overstimulated. I'm trying to like beat these games and stuff like that. Yeah. Do you do that like before you go to bed to like wind you down?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny because I think I had the San Andreas GTA on my phone. Yeah, and it's so hard to like get the person to run. So I was just like, why am I doing this? Just like steal one car and then I'm like, all right, I've had enough. And then I'm wide awake.
It's funny. It's probably the worst thing to do when you're going to bed because you're like overstimulating yourself and then you end up getting your second win and then next thing you know it's 3 hours later and you're supposed to have been in bed 4 hours ago.
Right, and then you order Uber Eats and then you're just kind of like, on Instagram again.
Yeah, just scrolling.
Yeah, just scrolling.
So you're gearing up for the tour. How does that feel that's about to happen?
I'm excited. It's in Australia. It's supporting Lizzo.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like an arena tour, which is sick. I'm really excited.
How did you get a part of that?
I think they said she specifically requested if I was available for those days, and we're just like, fingers crossed, and then it just went through. So yeah, like literally, they were like, oh, they're just asking if you're available, and I was like, yes, duh.
So where were you when they asked you this?
I was here in LA.
You were?
Yeah. I was just sitting on my couch doing nothing.
Are you from Australia or no?
Yeah, I am from Australia.
What part?
Adelaide, but I was born in Zimbabwe.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm Zimbabwean Australian.
When did you guys migrate over to Australia?
When I was 5, so my parents work in mining, and Zimbabwe is known for like mining and also Australia. So we moved when I was 5, and I've lived in like 8 cities within Australia just because they're always chasing like different, what do you call it? Like
mines and stuff?
Yeah, different mines.
Different jobs?
And like minerals, whenever there's like a boom in gold, they're like, oh, this looks like a better job to go to. And then we lived in a town that was specifically for nickel, and then another one copper, and yeah.
So these weren't necessarily like big cities. Like you weren't living in
small.
You weren't living in Sydney or Newcastle or anything like that. You weren't.
No, it was only the last 10 years we moved to Adelaide, and that's a capital city. But that was for tennis. I was playing tennis for 10 years before I started music.
Really?
So yeah, so my family decided let's do the big move for a tennis career, and then I just stopped playing.
Why'd you stop?
I would get bad anxiety, and it was at that point where you either start doing pro tournaments and travel around the world in Australia, and I just didn't think I was ready for that.
Why do you think that?
Because I liked music more.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it hard because after all, they made this big move for you. To tell your parents that, I don't want to do this anymore. After 10 years, right?
Yeah, it was hard, but at the same time, I'm one of those people that you can't make me do something. And my parents know that. So if I'm miserable and I'm just like dragging my feet, they're just like, okay, let's just like not force her to do that.
When's your birthday?
17th of December.
What are you,
Sagittarius?
Yeah. So y'all do whatever the hell y'all want to do.
No, literally, I'm always just like,
are you
on
go
the
with
run.
the flow? Because most Sagittarius I know, like, there's this one Sag that I know that will literally not make plans, and it will just go with the flow wherever the day takes them.
I make plans. I'm more like spontaneous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if, like I plan my day out, but if something more fun happens, I'm probably not gonna follow through on what I was supposed to do. But I like to schedule my day, definitely.
I'm not that way.
I love to schedule, but then I just do like one thing and focus on that like intensely.
You know what's interesting? Like, let's say you and I have plans, right? We make plans, and then I have like other plans for the rest of the day. And if I'm having more fun with you, I will cancel the plans that I have the rest of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, literally. Especially like this year when everyone's like, come out and go to this, and I'm literally at a park with another friend. I'm like, my leg hurts. I can't come.
Oh, you'll make up a lie.
Yeah. I was using this lie that my car actually went missing. My car went missing for a day, and then we found it. And I used that excuse that my car got stolen for like 3 weeks.
So it went missing. Where did it go, or where did you leave it?
I left it on a random street in Burbank, and I went for like an acting class kind of thing. Came back out, it was not on the street. And I took a video and showed my friends. I was like, it's literally not here. And we called the impound lot. They said it's not here. I went back to my apartment, and then my manager was like, let's go look on the street again to see if it's there, and it was back.
Where was it?
I don't know. It could be like an alien thing where it just went to another dimension and came back.
That didn't happen.
It was definitely not there.
Where did it go?
I don't know.
I'm so confused right now, Tkay.
It was so weird.
So, okay, let's talk about music. When you, what was your first introduction to it? Like, when did you hear, like, what song did you hear and you were like, you know what? I need to do this.
It was Power by Kanye West. Yeah, that was so epic. The video and the visuals were, I'd never seen anything like that before. And that album inspired me to start writing. It was also when good music was dropping their like joint albums like Cruel Summer and stuff, and they dropped the instrumentals. I would write my own verses to them.
So were you doing this in tennis at the same time?
Yeah. And I would go to tennis training, and I'd have my headphones on, and they literally hated that. So I was like, we can't.
Why?
They were just like, she's always rapping, and she's meant to be doing drills.
I'm like, I feel like whatever gets you in the zone, that shouldn't necessarily matter, right? Or am I tripping?
I feel like I was just sitting on the ground and not doing anything.
So you
listening.
were over it at this point.
Yeah, I was literally, yeah. Yeah, at that point, I was like, I don't like running. I don't want to play matches. And I like just being inside writing and like shooting little videos of my handy cam.
When you told your parents you wanted to do music, what did they say?
They were like, how?
How?
Yeah. I didn't study any like music or play any instruments. They were just like, how are you going to get there? I'm like, I don't know. And I tried out for X Factor. I'm glad that didn't work out.
X Factor Australia?
Yeah.
Why are you glad that it didn't work out?
The like being in the, I don't know, like the background, like just seeing what's happening whilst you're waiting in line and everything. It was so stressful. Like I don't think.
And that's what?
I think I realized I'd rather write my own songs as well.
What was happening in the background that you were like, this is too stressful?
It's just like
for
parents and like almost like dance moms and the like producers and stuff just being like, come here, all right, you have 2 seconds. And now you're in this weird back room and you're thinking, wait, I thought I was going on stage, but you actually have to perform to the like directors first, and then you see the actual judges. If I didn't make it to the judges.
You know what's interesting? This is when I found out the shows were BS, right?
Yeah.
I was covering a story about a big competition show, right? And I'll tell you when the cameras are off. And there was tons and tons of people auditioning. And just like tons of people, and people were thinking that they were going to be auditioning for the judges, right? But the people don't realize that you are auditioning for the producers first. And it's not necessarily who has a great voice.
No, it's like, or
they are literally casting these shows like how they cast reality shows or how they cast sitcoms, right?
Yeah.
And what's interesting, I was thinking to myself, I watched these people audition, and there were some people that were horrible.
But there are characters.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting is because they are being made fun of. It's not necessarily like people are really up there thinking that they have a voice, thinking that they can sing, but they are looking at it from the entertainment value and what's going to get ratings, not necessarily like this person can sing. Because if that was the case, they would have cast the person that can sing, but in their eyes didn't necessarily look as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll rather cast someone who has the look, but can't sing.
Right.
All for the whole entertainment value.
Or someone that just gives like crazy vibes, and they're like, that's going to be hilarious.
And that's why, and that's when I realized that these shows are BS.
It's like really sad.
Right.
Yeah.
Like people are going on there. Right. People are going on there thinking that they're about to like change their lives. Right.
Nope.
Knowing damn well they can't sing.
Nope.
And people are just literally making fun of them throughout the whole entire experience.
And they like make them do things like go out and party the night before, and then they'll have to wake up at like 6 a.m. on purpose to like record a song just because they know they're going to be confused and like out of it. Like just to add more drama. Like
that's what they say about The Bachelor. Have you heard about that?
No.
Like the producers will come in the room and be like, oh my gosh, he's about to pick you. So like, we need you to be so excited when he picks you. Da 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 da. That's why they get so hysterical whenever they don't get the rose.
Damn.
Because they already been told that they were going to be picked.
Yeah. Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
It's too much. It's like the devil working for sure.
I mean, nobody works harder than a reality show producer trying to book a TV show. All right. Album's out. How do we feel?
I'm so happy. I'm so glad. It's been like 2 years coming, so I feel like I'm finally able to exist as this version of me, and people weren't able to see it before. Yeah, I'm proud.
Wait, why weren't people able to see it before?
I feel like when artists are going through their like butterfly transformation stage, it's like you're in the cocoon, and obviously if you're not releasing anything, like no one really knows what you're doing. But then when you finally blossom out as a butterfly and everyone's like, oh, now I understand what you've been doing, or like why you've been quiet, and now I understand why you look different. It's like you have to premeditate it and then bring it out. But no one necessarily like knows what you're doing or understands where you're going until they finally see the full picture.
Yeah, I think that's why people utilize social media so heavy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of times people take you on the journey of you in the cocoon and then the butterfly releasing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I feel like I'm trying to do that more. I tend to just move in silence and then I pop out.
I feel the same way. I feel like everybody doesn't necessarily need to know what's going on. You don't need to see me in the studio. You don't need to see me making the beats. Just know when this album's dropping, it's going to be fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like a happy medium of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you like social media?
It's fun. I find it funny. My feed is memes. I just have memes on my feed.
Same.
Like existential, like crazy, makes no sense.
Memes and funny videos and whatnot. But it also scares me in a bit.
Why?
I don't know. You got all these random people following you, leaving you comments and stuff like that, thinking that they know you. And the one thing I think that really drives me crazy is that how they feel like they always have access to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes you just like want to be left alone and it's like I have nothing more to give.
Yeah. The weirdest thing I've noticed over the last few years is when I unfollow someone and they're like, you unfollowed me? It's like, yeah, I don't want to see this. They're like, why? I thought we were friends. And I'm like, I don't have to see your content.
Yeah.
Like,
we are friends in real life. I just don't want to see you on like social media.
Or maybe we're not actually friends and you're delusional, but
yeah, I think that is the one thing about social media. I think people are closer. They think they're closer to you than what you really are. You know what I'm saying? Tell me about Ring-A-Ling.
Ring-A-Ling, Ring-A-Ling. It's a song about getting to the money, about focusing on what's important and just like saying you don't have time for any drama, any BS. It's just all about the money.
All about the money?
All about the money.
How do you get to the money?
It just comes to me.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that money just will come.
It's an ever-flowing fountain of money, always coming.
I also feel like money's not real, but that's a whole different topic.
No, I think that's why I'm like, I have that perspective of there's always going to be more money because it doesn't seem like tangible or like, you know what I mean? It's such a weird concept.
Especially with like rich people, I feel like they act like money's not real. You know what I'm saying? Just with the things that they do with said money.
But I'm also the type of person where if I have like $3 and I have to catch the bus, but then I saw like a chocolate bar, I'll probably like pay for the chocolate bar and walk home and be like, no regrets.
But you're happy though, right?
I'm happy, yeah.
Do me a favor and tell me, what are you working on next?
A lot of touring. I think most of 2024 is going to be touring. And then my third album as well. Like I finally found a groove of creating, touring, and then, go back to creating. And it feels more stable than it has for a long time.
Do you feel like you're hella creative when you're on tour or no? Does that kind of take a back seat and you're focusing on being on tour?
I'm not. I have I have to be like still and just in one place for a few months and then I'm more productive that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.